Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Design 305, Web Portfolio Design. We're going to be covering this mod, a lot of things that, one, are going to give you a stronger portfolio, two, some of the things for a layout that are similar but different than some of the other layouts you've worked with. All right, so to begin with, today, this class, to start with, I'm going to cover who I am, introduction to the class, programs required for this class, and week 1 class material and requirements. All right, Mike Brooks, who am I? Well, I'm a teacher. I teach graphic arts, web design, animation, fire performer, eat, breathe, spin, fire. I am a web designer. Let's see, father of 4 and 1 grandson, 24-year-old daughter, 21-year-old son, he's a Marine, 9-year-old daughter, and a 6-year-old daughter. Been married to my wife for 4 years now, and we live here in Boise, Idaho. And then, as you could tell, Macy, all you who've had me before, she is my companion animal from the VA. She's also our class mascot. Let's see, retired out of the Air Force. I've been programming and creating programming since the mid-'80s and web designing since the mid-'90s. So I've got a lot of experience doing this. And the way we're going to be doing this mod is we're going to be using Muse. So that's going to be fun for everybody. All right, software for this class is Adobe CC 2018. If you don't have it, please check the message on announcement section. Now, if you expire this mod, I need to know if you're getting that countdown, contact me ASAP because there's some glitches right now in getting the new software. So I need you to contact me so I can have you actually contact your FPA. So let me know. Then talk to them and see what we can do. We are going to work with you this mod and next mod, depending how long it takes to get those glitches fixed. All right, that being said, let's go ahead and move on. All right, first thing about me. I could be emailed, michael.brooks@independence.edu, called 208-901-9092. Now, you could also text me. Texting usually gets a quicker answer than calling, because if I'm somewhere where I can't answer, you'll have to wait. Now, if you do call and you have to leave a message, or if you text me, please tell me who you are and that you're from this class. I don't return calls if somebody doesn't leave a name and number. All right, Skype name, if you want to contact me on Skype, michael.brooks.boise. And like I said, email me, text me, call me, and contact me through the class. All right, for this mod, Christy Polson is our learning coach for this mod. And she's really good. She knows this program. Her and I have worked together for quite a while, a few years now. So she pretty much knows what I'm looking for. So she's really up on this program and the class. All right, so week 1, we're going to identify and implement animations that follow best practices in web design. Determine the visual concept of the portfolio website. Create an interactive menu that includes normal, rollover, mouse down, and active states. Compare advanced slider widgets. Choose one for the home page. Identify and implement interactive elements that follow current best practices in web design, and choose and implement a third-party plugin to use. All right, so web portfolios are ours. They're our way of showing off our work, as you know. Something to think about is you're only considered as good as the best work on your project. The worst look. So if you throw up 5 good pieces and 1 mediocre piece, they'll judge you off the mediocre piece. So take that into consideration when you're putting together your web portfolio this mod. All right, the discussion for this week. Identify and implement animations that follow best practices in web design. Animation and interactivity are a key component of any modern-day website. Professional design must be able to identify the value animation and interactivity can have on a website. What types of animation and interactivity to add, and when it's too much. I'll go into that here shortly too, after we get through what we're going to talk about. How to know when something's too much. In this week's discussion topic, you will locate 2 portfolios of professional designers or companies who use animation and or interactivity well. Explain why the animation interactivity is well designed. Identify the types of animation interactivity being used. How will you implement animation interactivity on your website? Include a URL to the web design portfolio. So you're going to explain why the animation is well designed. Identify the types of animation that they're using. How will you implement animation in your website or interactivity? So animation and interactivity are being used interchangeably for this mod. Include a URL to the web design portfolio. All right. Then you're going to, that's 2 good ones. Locate 1 bad portfolio that uses animation and or interactivity poorly. Explain why the animation is poorly designed. Identify the types of animation. Explain how the animation can be improved, what would need to be removed. Not just removed. There are some that can be improved by adding something to it. There's something that could be done a little different, positioned different. So any way that you think that interactivity can be improved. Include a URL to the poorly designed portfolio. Then discuss how much animation or activity is too much and why. Now, for your citation, this has changed a little. In your response post, let's see, you might use articles that show examples of animation interactively used well or what to avoid. So you have your 3 links. Those are not the links for the citation. Now, the citation, remember, no longer has to be APA format. You just have to put it there. But it needs to back up what you're saying, why this is good and why this is bad. So you're going to end up with 4 links at least. 2 good sites, 1 bad site, and 1 that links to an article or discussion or something that backs up why you say things are good or bad. Now, replying requirements. Remember, this is a 300 level class. You have to have at least 250 words in your main post. Yeah, that's supposed to be 250. 2 citations that back it up. I'm sorry, so you're going to have 5 links. That's right, 5. So 2 links that back up your reasoning. 2 good, 1 bad. Okay? So I apologize there. Now, 2 follow-up posts, 50 words at least. Now, remember, those follow-up posts, they don't count as your initial post. So you have to have your initial in by Wednesday, and then your other 2 posts. For the week 1 assignment, determine the visual concept of the portfolio website. Create an interactive menu that includes normal, rollover, mouse down, and active states. Designing a website usually requires having a strong understanding of HTML, CSS, and/or other programming languages. In addition, you have to master an application such as Dreamweaver. Adobe Muse changes this. Muse lets you design websites without having to manually enter code. This saves time and creates a professional website. Okay, Muse. We are using Adobe Muse. The end of 2019, I believe, they will no longer be supporting Muse. So what you're learning now is good to use, okay? And good to know because this program really helps. If you're not able to get a Muse, I need to know ASAP, please, okay? Over the next 2 weeks, we will be creating a 2-page website for Independence University Graphic Arts program. This website will showcase the different degree programs Independence University offers, the potential careers, and the applications students will learn. This week, we will create the homepage. This design needs to be original, not similar to the current website. All right, let's go to the current website. Independence University. All right, here's their homepage. So you're going to use their colors and their logo, which they've changed, and go from there, okay? Well, let's see. I don't think that's their home one. There we go, Independence University. This is their homepage, okay? So we're going to create one similar, but you get to design your own layout. All right. In Photoshop or Illustrator, design the interface. Choose a color theme. Keep Independence University colors in mind. Adobe Color CC is a great place to create and find color schemes. Include the Independence University logo. We'll be downloading the logo. It's a PNG. Like I said, it was a different color, so. Export your design as a PDF. Name your PDF DES305 assignment 1 _ part _ 1 last name. Do not create any copy. This will be provided in part 2. Create a web page in Muse. In Muse, create and design the master page based on the design you created in Photoshop or Illustrator. Name your page, homepage. Create a second page and name it degrees. We will return to this page in week 2. Create the header and include the Independence University logo, which we just downloaded. Add an interactive menu and add different colors, states for normal, rollover, mouse down, and active. Include the footer from your design mockup. So for your design mockup, you're doing a header, the body, and the footer, just like you do with a web page in Dreamweaver. Using public domain images or your own images, locate your images of adults working with computers using public domain images or your own images, okay? Locate 4 images of adults working with computers. So you can take your own pictures. These images should connect viewers to the topic at hand. In this case, getting an associate's or bachelor's degree in graphic arts. Place these graphics in a folder. We'll place them into our website in this week's assessment. Add this text. Right, so this is going to be in there. And it tells you what to do. Create this as a header. This is your header. This is the paragraph style. Name your Muse file, Design 305, Assignment 1, Part 1. Okay, submit both Part 1 and Part 2 to this assignment to be graded. So you're submitting 2. So you'll zip, to make it easier, you could just zip the project and submit it. Okay, zip the 2 things together and submit it as one. If you want to do that. I'm not going to get picky on that. It's just easier for some people, okay? So if you zip the 2 of them together, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine, okay? I'm giving you that option. All right, so that's the assignment. Now the assessment. All right, compare advanced slider widgets and choose one for the home page. Identify and implement interactive elements that follow current best practices in web design. Choose and implement a third-party plugin to use. Now that we have designed the home page, we need to add animation and interactivity. For this assessment, you will select a slideshow slider and a third-party plugin to add to your home page. Complete the following this week. Select a slideshow slider and place it on your home page. Design the slideshow slider using the images you selected in week 1 assignment. Determine the slideshow slider options. After watching the live lecture, use this Muse widget website or one you find to download and implement third-party plugin for the homepage. Download a third-party plugin that is free. Select a third-party plugin that enhances the homepage. Name your new Muse file this. Zip and submit the Muse document for grading. All right, so that's it for the assignment, the assessment, and the discussion. So let's go ahead and get started here. Now, when we talk about portfolios, there are many different types of portfolios. All right, so let's take a look here. We can glance at regular companies. Hire top graphic artists, get started. They use these different things. They use GoDaddy, Accenture, UCLA. They've created for them. Okay. How it works. You find the designer, hire them. They do the work, you pay them. Simple, right? Find the perfect artist for your project. So this is a site for different artists. So this is one that pulls them together. So it talks about their work. You don't really have many samples of it. So would that be a good one? Honestly, I'd be a little leery to say, because it tells you, but it doesn't show you their work. Okay. Okay, make a portfolio, choose a theme. So in other words, there are themes out there for portfolios. Now this one is for fashion designers. But you know what? Some people I've seen actually take this and use this type of thing for their portfolio, turn it into a different type of work. Let's see. Different portfolios. Let's see. Portfolio. Graphic artist. And it helps if I spell correctly. Boise web design. There's a good one. Magic. It's mandatory. Now you go through this and you kind of see what they used here. This is a very simple design layout. Scrolling one. Look at our graphic design. There's our work. The project. Oh, there we go. It's a lodge. A web design for a lodge, as you can see here. So it varies as you're starting to see different portfolios for different artists. Weebly. Some people use Weebly. So there's a various amount of them out there as you're starting to see. Okay. And you can get regular themes for it and just drag and drop into them. But those are cookie cutter ones. What's better than that? Well, being able to do your own, right? Well, all right. So what we're going to do, we're going to recreate Independence universities. See, to me, I've always disliked this break and then the background, you can see through it. And the reason is it's distracting to me. I could see where they were trying to separate it, but it's distracting right here, you know? It looks blocky rather than clean. So let's look at some bad examples. Let's look at the 90s website. And boy, the 90s websites were kind of scary. The 90s website were, let's put everything we can onto it, make it look good, all the bells and whistles. So they would have things like this, all moving. This would be spinning. This would be bouncing or spinning. Bouncing, spinning, floating somehow. And this would just be spinning. Stuff like that. There was no layout that people adhered to. It's let's get as much as we can in one spot at one time. Okay. Now, these aren't portfolios, but you're starting to see the difference between, well, nowadays where we're starting to actually use that we never used, that we didn't back then. All right. For example, let's look at this. This world was probably spinning. The Rubik's Cube may have been spinning. The CD may have been spinning. And then there's twinkles in the background. Under construction. Oh, a big no-no anymore. Nowadays, if you're going to build a website and put it up, don't put under construction. Or working, please return soon. They'll never return. There's enough out there today that they don't wait. And look at the fonts. Now, will that work? Well, that depends on what you're doing, what your target market is, okay? I've seen people actually use comic book font. And it works great because of their target audience. buttons that weren't clear in the background, as you can see. Zoom into that one. See, as you can see, they had the white border around them, so they weren't real clear. Not all were. Some were not. But when they were, it was hard to actually make them stand out. Because like here, it looks clear at first, then you look and notice that some of the stars are missing. Let's see, what else? Oh, the fire. This fire was always used. A lot of people used it. And again, the under construction. Look at this color compared. It's hard to read. Then this sticks out. Internet Explorer. So it was created to work with Internet Explorer and Netscape. They always put what that was there. WebZ Designs. Well, that's a good one. You can name your company that. That's fine. But he's also a hacker. So web designs and hacking. Let's think about this. Your target audience is going to shrink rather quickly. Bright colors. This was the screens we worked with. Let's go a little more into some of this. It would scroll up and around. You'd actually just put these parts together, okay? And making these the same size were usually difficult to do, as you can see here. The thanks, again, may have been moving. It all depends on which one they used. Oh, yes, the text ones. You know, these are actually pretty good. Some sites, this would be kind of cool on, but not all of it. That would be hard to read for everything on a website. Cute boy site. So the font. Use as many fonts and colors as you can. Get attention again. That's what this was going for. Heaven's Gate, red alert, stay away. That red alert was probably blinking or flashing. Let's see. The higher sources. A lot of these, like I said, you're starting to see a pattern with a lot of these. Jam Central, production notes, filmmakers. These were all active hotspots. And you get down here, that's hard to read because of the background. But you're starting to see, hey, that background is the same as that background, the same as that. Well, there's a different one. They actually made their own. Another web business, a web design business. This was a drag and drop program. I know these buttons. I know a lot of this. The background image, that was their own. But this layout was a common one. Okay. And again, they made sure to tell you what it worked with, who they helped. Members, feedback, help, search. Another type of layout we had was all blocked. Now you can see this is coding for stuff, right? Well, this is how they actually blocked out websites too, believe it or not. Let's go look at that one. Oh, it's a Pinterest one, so we'll just zoom in. Space Jam. All the different planets. You won't believe how the websites looked in the 90s. Really cool, kind of. That one would be a nice layout for today to stand out. Except there's too many colors. This, the Royals blue, is not even the same blue there. So we have orange, blue, white. Then we have the logos, the orange text. So this one could start to flow together, but we don't place the ads there like that anymore. And that's how they used to do it. I'll put your ad right here on my website if you pay me to do it, like a newspaper ad. Behind the Jam. This is the Space Jam site again, as you can see. The text. He gave credit to Warner Brothers. One of the crazy backgrounds from back then. Nickelodeon start. This is a zigzag background from a program that was drag and drop. Kind of like what we're doing, but a little easier even. It's gone away the way of the dinosaurs because they didn't stay caught up with the programming languages. And they added so much bulky code. But I don't know if anybody knows this one. Who's this black? It's Nickelodeon. The 90s tour. Everything bright colors, lots of colors, as you can see. So as we moved forward, oh, look, that's all graphic design. It's all animated with computer language. This was a program that was a fun game. It was a big game back then. A lot of people sat down and spent weeks programming it on a Commodore 64, VIC-20, the Commodore 128. This was, well, I'll see if anybody, well, it's right there. It's the Oregon Trail. It was a fun game. But again, see how the graphics were? This was the height of graphics for people that bought their own computers, had their own computers. Okay, the colors. Surf's Ups. Now, this one, this would work with all the colors. Why? Because it's for kids. A kid's website, you'll notice, even today, has lots and lots and lots of colors. Retro theme demo. Like I said, the burning torches, and they were actually flames moving. Let's see if we could find some of those. Let's look at some of the GIFs. Oh, yes, the turning E for email at. A lot of them. Oh, we had counters. We had burning links. Email us under construction. Oh, look, there it is, burning. We had the dancing baby. Everybody loved the dancing baby. Everybody, no matter what your business was, people were putting that dancing baby on it. Oh, the fun. Like I said, some of it just rotated out of nowhere. Like I said, there'd be a little rotate to it somehow. Electrical storm. Now hiring. Boing. The spring effect. These are GIFs, okay? These are GIFs from then. And this is a slight video that they would use in a GIF. Granted, spinners weren't around, but This is the same technology. iGen, the spinning logos. And then there were the regular ones. MGM Tiger. Under construction. Boy, that'd play havoc on the eyes. And see, he's even digging. Caution. Under construction, now you have two of them digging. The flashies. That one's more of a common day one because of the graphics, the graphics look. And notice the flashing lights. There's even lots more here. Let's take a look. You have the flashy lights. They're discussing it. And you have your gears. The manhole construction under construction. Now, we think back on it. Everything we learned in animation, you could create these now and make it HTML5 rather than a GIF, right? And yes, people would do this to their site just to let you know the site's under construction. They would throw as much as they can on there just to show that they had the latest of bling. No other way to put it. Like that one didn't, it would vary because you notice they're all at different places. And then you had this type of stuff, a real image where they just took the background out. A lot of this stuff, as you can see, was overboard. Some of it was just still. But as you can say, not all. One that's just still. And the fire. Oh, there were a lot of different fire ones. There was stuff like that. The kitties moving. And the flying bread. Coin spinning. So you're getting the picture, I think, that the 90s was a fun time. Oh, and they'd even put stuff across the whole thing that would burn. That one's an upgraded one because it's not so pixelated. All right, so that being said, these are things you want to use very sparingly nowadays. Oh, stuff like that even. Let's go to another one that's really active. where they put everything onto one page. So, yeah, it was way overdone. And look, there's a kind of a shadow that goes over it. And things like that we still see today, people using. Can you imagine looking at that constantly? It would drive you nuts if that was a solid background now, right? So these are things they're fun to know about, fun to use once in a while. But if you do use them very sparingly. All right, so that being said, now what we're going to do is we're going to discuss some of the things for a layout. What do we need for, I closed it. University. All right, this is their main page now. See, each one of those is different, as you're starting to see. Now, why did I do that? Well, there are some different trains of thought on this now. One is you don't make so many different changes, so many different looks. Some people are like, well, we have to catch different audiences. But there's a point where if you get away from the main look, people don't know where to look for stuff on your web page. This is why we have the main layouts, okay? So, as you can see, we have student login, request transcripts, consumer information, degrees, admissions, tuition and aid, student experience, about us, request info. All right, so we take a look at this. Here's our sites. All right, so I am looking for a specific program. I'm a military or veteran, finance, okay? So you're looking at this. Now, we're not going to get that in depth. All right, we want just a basic site that you can see. And this is the girl, actually. This is one of their financial aid people. She's the one who helped me get in for my bachelor's degree up here in Boise. So, good thing to know, Independence University does use its instructors, its employees for their website most of the time, okay? They don't just go out to one of those sites and buy it. Now, all right, so let's bring up, there's Illustrator or Photoshop. I'm going to do Photoshop because Photoshop's one of my favorite programs for this. For some reason, I learned how to do it in Photoshop, so I just kind of stick in Photoshop. Now, you guys will have your options what to do, okay? So we're going to say create new. Well, website pages. Remember how we discussed that? What's the size of a website page? We're going to go to pixels. 1224, height 1584. Well, I'm just going to do 800 for the height. And let's do 1200 for the width, okay? Now, the reason I said 1200, average screen size. 1224 is a little larger than most screens, and then the 800's the average height. Actually, let's go to 600, and you'll see where there's an issue to begin with. All right, so this is it. So Command 0. So how am I going to make this look? Well, we don't have the independence color theory yet. I haven't made it up, okay? So now we're going to make it. Well, to do that, first things first. Well, we're going to place the logo. Now, what am I doing now that I'm ahead of myself on? Those of you watching, just think about some of this. Remember, always, always, always thumbnails, right? Before you start a project. Logo, there we go. And we're going to place it. All right, well, I want the logo right here. That's a good spot to start it, right? I think it will be. Now, to make that logo stand out, I'm going to go ahead and add a layer. I'm going to put this behind the logo. All right. So I'm going to make this just stick out. Now, remember, you guys should be making your own page. All right. So I'm only going to do part of this right now, just to get started, okay? And let's see. So the color is white. So I'm going to put that right there. All right, so next, now down here. So now we'll just select it. Couldn't because there's nothing there, right? Let's select there. Now we can. All right, now I'm going to take this red. Watch what happens with the red. All right, now watch with the red. It looks good, but that's way too much red. Remember, people's eyes cannot handle too much red. So now we're going to grab this blue. There we go. All right, so now I have it kind of a bluish gray. Well, to me, because remember, I'm colorblind. All right, that looks smoother on the eyes, doesn't it? So there is the start of our web page. Now, to make this stand out, what some people do, they'll take like this, add another layer, and take it straight down to the bottom. All right, that kind of blocks it off and gives you a really good page to work with, right? So I kind of like this one. I've always liked this type of setup. But now I'm going to take this. Oops, I don't want to combine it. Oh, my God. There we go, Command T. We're going to shrink that down a bit. All right, see how that still blocks it off, but now we have more page to work with. All right, well, let's go over here. The very bottom of the page, what do we have? Well, we have all this, but this right here is what we need. So we're going to take that and put it right there. Really? There we go. Wow, way too big. So we're going to take that and we're going to go down to, we're going to leave it Arial because that is one of the Arial accepted fonts for sites. And let's take it down to 24 to begin with. All right, still too much. 16. All right. Now note, we're starting to get this here. Now I can put it up there, but look what it did. It took it way out there. So if we go down, I still can't see it because it blends in, right? So what I want to do is, notice I line that up. Independence University. And right here, there, enter. I want it there. I want that there as well. So now we'll take that back over. And we're going to move that up just a little. All right, so that's a little large for this. So what we're going to do, is highlight it all. Let's take it down to 14. There we go. And that's still a little too large. 12. Okay. I'll go to here. So we're going to make that a little bit larger, just large enough that we could fit this in. Okay, now notice this bottom is really large. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the bottom one down some. There we go. Now we'll go back to this, Command T. And there we have it. Now we're set up. All right, so now we've got the basic layout of our page. So as you can see, this is 600. All right, now what I want to do is we're going to, let's see, go back to here, see some of the stuff. Like I said, we're doing a very basic one, right? So now we need degrees, admissions. Yeah, we need these. So the links. But remember, it only wanted 2 links. So what we're going to do is we're going to put those links up here. Okay? Those of you that have had Dreamweaver, which if you're in this class, you probably haven't had Dreamweaver yet, but some of you may have, will recognize how we're doing this. All right, so now this is going to be the home. Notice I copied it. Bring that up. All right, so there's my 2 buttons. Now let's go back and take a look at what the buttons are. All right, so we're going to have 2 of them. So we're basically using them 1 page. Now, we're creating the 2 pages. Home page, okay? So the home button. And let's see, a second, degrees. There we go. So degrees. All right, there's our degrees. Now notice this is kind of, I don't know if I like the way it's laid out. So we're going to play with that some and put those right here. Okay, that kind of looks good. Home degrees. All right, but I'm going to add some fun stuff to this button. Okay. So to do that, what I want to do, well, let's see. Let's go to the custom shapes. Well, one would be good here. We're going to use the splat just because, all right? And there's a reason I'm using the splat. Because I want to be able to change that a little. Okay, now, but with the splat, well, let's go ahead and grab the red. Copy that. Now I just double click on it. And there's the splat. All right, now we're going to take the splat, copy it with the Command J. So one's going to go here, and one's going to go here. All right, degrees. Well, we're going to move that up. And that up. Now look, those are hard to see on that text, right? Well, now what I want to do is rotate that text. So we're going to go Command T, rotate it to 30 degrees. There we go, 30 degrees. Again, that's hard to see there. So we're going to go to the white then. So let's take a look. Now that sticks out pretty well. All right, now degrees. Take the Command T. All right, that's close. Okay, and then we're going to put that in there as well. There we go, same place. And there we have it. So now we have our degrees, all right? But that's right up against. So we don't want that to be right against the wall. So let's take it back a couple. There we go. There we go. That looks pretty good. All right. Now you're starting to see what happens when you start putting too much on there, right? Now we're starting to, our eyes don't know where to look. Okay, so this is some of the stuff that we will be talking about this mod. That home, that degrees, that's not going to work, is it? Now, we're going to use it for an example, though, for a reason, all right? Because what I want to do is now I'm going to combine this with this shape, okay? So these two, now if I just go Command E, it combined them into one design. Do that here with these two. Command E. And there we go. That is now an image rather than text. All right, so that being said, now all I have to do is, well, we're going to create our thing. So let's go over and discuss carousels. Okay, but before I do that, while that's loading, let's go back to Photoshop. And what we're going to do is I'm going to create a new library. IU colors. All right, well, we're going to add. I'll take the white. Okay, add. So the white's there. Now what I want to do is collect that. And we're going to add that one. All right, so there's that color. Next, we're going to add that color. So we now have our colors for Independence University. That's how easy that was, all right? Well, now, because of that, no, we don't want to do that. We want to close. We're going to save this first. So let's do it desktop. And we're going to call this folder MOD7 Design 305. All right, now week 1. All right, and we're going to build up each week. So this is the, let's go back. Use that now. Okay, in a minute, export design as a PDF. So we've almost got there. So we've got the color theme, blah, 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 blah. In Muse, create a design, the master page based on design. Okay, so we're not there yet. We're still here. So we got to finish that layout, but we need the footer. So I did that. We can use images. Well, we'll go get those here later. The text that's going on the home page. All right. So we're going to copy that text. Now I'm just going to go Command C for now. And here we'll rename it later to what we're supposed to. All right. So now we need to put this text down here. So Command V. All right, that's kind of hard to see there, right? And this, whoa. Where did I just put it? There we go. All right, I brought that in as a vector object. So what we're going to do is we're going to lock everything down except that one. All right, so now if I click on it, notice some text has been outlined. Okay. It's a PDF project. So guess what? It just took me over there. Now I can take all this text from Illustrator, but I have to do it little by little. So there is an easier way to do this. What we're going to do, we're going to delete that one. Now we're going to add a layer of text. Yeah, there we go. So I just click there. And now, because it's text, come on. Really? Go back over to Word. Let's see. There we go. All right, and that's going to be, we're going to take that one up to, let's see, 24, just for purposes of being able to see it, okay? This, now we're going to get this one. Copy. and paste. Now, notice it just did that. So what we're going to do, that's going to go down to 14. Designer. So hit enter. Enter. Make it consistent. Enter. 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 All right, and now we're going to go back in. This needs to be 12. And there we go. It barely fits. So we're going to take that header, which is going to be set up properly over there. This is just an example. Make it 18. And see how hard that is to read on there? So now to make it legible, we're going to click on it. Go back over here. Let's try that red. See what happens. Wow, that makes it worse. So let's just go to and there we go. That is our home page. All right. So we'd go back and take a look, name your home page, create the second page, and name it degrees. Well, this you don't do. This is all done on the other stuff, right? All right, now an interactive menu, different color states for your normal rollover mouse. Okay, so we'll do that once we get over there using public domain images. Add that text. Okay, so basically that's our layout, but that is still a little large for what we're doing. But this gives you the idea. So there's our layout. All right, now we're going to go over and make that in Muse. Okay, that's all I'm going to show you using the Independence website. Now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to create a portfolio site. I'm going to create my portfolio, okay? So, let's see. And we're done with here. Now I'm going to create a new portfolio site. I want it fluid because what fluid does is it lets it resize depending on your browser. So it'll work just like we did with Animate. You could shrink depending on the object you're using. So maximum width, 1200. Columns, we're going to go to 12 for now, okay? Minimum width, minimum height is 500. All right, we're going to go with this. All right, so as you can see, this is my master. Now, remember, for these programs, I gotta, it's not letting me log in. So, what? Come on. There it goes. Now it did it. Adobe's being difficult today. All right, so for our apps, we go over here. You'll notice something. We go down. Muse is there right now. Like I said, they're going to quit supporting it within the next year or two, then they'll take it out. So just remember that in the future, okay? And I've got a couple of updates, so we're going to go ahead and have that update while we're here in class. I'll do that in the background, camera and Photoshop. So there we go. It's going to update. So now I come over to here. All right, so I set up my page. Now I need to bring in these colors. Well, what we're going to do is IU colors. Piece of cake, right? Well, we've got it white. So let's grab it. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on the master. Notice my 12 columns. Why 12 columns? 12 is a good number for us to use because it's the average column width. Let's go back to the Independence site. All right. Now, if you look, you could actually see columns. So here's that the edge. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They used a 9-column one, okay? And what that does is you break your grids down and it helps you align stuff. Now we're going to take our footer. But I'm not going to use Independence University. Now I'm going to, and there's a reason, because now you guys get to design it the way you want instead of having me show you how to do it, okay? Because I don't want you guys to use my example. Please do not use my example. This is an original thought piece, okay? So research different sites, see what you like. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we are going to grab this, and I'm going to make, let's go Command 0 so it all fits. All right. Whoops. There we go. And down. All right, now I need to color that. Well, the thing is, let's go over here to my libraries. I'm going to use, let's see. Where's my other stuff? Huh, my other libraries are gone. That's weird. All right, well, I'm just going to go ahead and, oh, there we go. Loki's photography or Loki's fire performance. There we go. So there we go. We click on that. Notice you still see the grid. All right. So next, now we're going to go ahead and bring in the logo. So File, Place. Now tomorrow I'll show you how to bring stuff in from Photoshop. Okay. Right now, we want documents, fire performance. There's my panda. So we're going to bring the panda in. All right, notice the panda. Remember, we need to use our grids. Now, that's way inside, so we can take that over to right there. All right, and there's our panda. So what we're going to do is go up here to File, Preview Page in Browser, and this is what we have. That's how easy it is to build a page in Muse, okay? But, let's see, yeah. And then notice as we shrink, everything shrinks with it. So we have that interactive capability, okay? Now's the buttons. We're gonna need, and this is kind of like a portfolio, so that's why I'm doing it. But again, you're making sure to do the Independence University. I'm going to show you how to do everything, but I'm not going to show you how to do the project. That's your choice. So everybody should have a different looking one. There's going to be some similarities, but for the most part, you should have a different site from everybody else. All right, so next. Now I want to put my buttons in. Well, remember we talked about having to use widgets. Buttons. Well, we have our state buttons. We're going to place that right here. Okay. About the middle. So you see how that's starting to measure things up. Now this is a little off because it didn't quite go to that edge. And notice I can go up and down, left and right. So the shift does not work with this program, okay? All right, now, well, let's talk about this. How do we change the colors? Well, we're going to get into that later. All right, well, we can do that now. All right, so our states, notice the normal. Well, for the normal, we're going to make it orange, ooh, red. All right. So we go back to the state of it. Active, normal. Roll over and mouse down. Well, mouse down, let's go ahead and take that and make it that orange. All right, so now here's what we have. File, Preview Page in Browser. And then click. Red, orange, black. Okay, so that's how that works. That is what we're talking about on how to use some of this, okay? But we'll get more into how to get one and everything later. Now, what I want to do is, well, remember, we're adding 2 pages, right? Well, this one is what? This one is home. Well, with this, we're actually going to be doing more, all right? So I'm going to shrink this down. Notice this text didn't go with it, okay? So you're going to need to highlight, shift highlight, and it still doesn't work to do that. So you're going to have to pay attention on that, all right? Then we'll bring that into there. Come on, there we go. Move that to there. All right, so it's going to be all right. There's our home button. Whoops. All right, so there's our home button. Now we're going to copy this. Oops. And CV. All right, well, our home button. Now notice, because it's to right there, I have to put the same space, but it tells me what that space is. It's 20 pixels from the other one. All right, so we have our home, about, (2020). There we go. Notice I'm using the grid system still. All right. Now we're going to change this a little when we're done, but we have our home, about, photos, and contact. All right, normal portfolio things, right? So now we're going to go click, 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 and click. Notice if I take those over to there, what's that? They're a little small, so we're going to make them a little bit larger. All right, so there's our buttons now. Notice that what we do, no matter what we do, it does not look quite right. There we go. Now that looks kind of good. Let's take a look at it. File, preview about browser. All right, so now we have our home, about, photos, contact. Yes, they're a little off, but that's kind of cool. I did that kind of intentionally. Because now, if I wanted, for those buttons, I could even add a graphic. All right, so what we're going to do, let's go back to, we're not going to worry about that right now. We'll do that later. All right, so now what I want to do is, right, we're going to close the master. Notice that one looks the same. And see the height? Because I have the minimum height, I didn't have a maximum height. It's all white down here. All right, so let's look at that one more time. See where it ends? All right, so now we're going to take that, and notice I can't adjust any of that here. That's on the home page. I have to actually go down here to the master. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to drag that to 650, see what it does. And that. All right, well, we take a look. That's closer. Now let's go to 900. We're going to go to 850, actually. All right, now let's take a look. Close it. Almost there. Like I said, that was 850. Remember how we were talking about the 900 earlier? All right. Whoa. If you go too far, it does that. Come on. There we go. Now, we close it. Look, there we go. Open it. It goes down to the 900. Perfect. All right, now, notice I can't make any adjustments because I'm in the home. You always have to go back to your master to do this. All right, so we're going to take this and take that. If you take that, it doesn't work. So we're going to take one side and still doesn't. So now what we're going to do is take this, bring it up. Now watch when I take the inside one. It's not going shorter. And that one's not, okay? Well, what happens is this one is your footer. Okay, so your footer goes down here. So watch. So we're going to go to that 850. And we're going to put an orange bar down there. So we're going to go to my libraries. I want this orange bar. Quit. All right, so now we're going to take that to there. Boy, Zoom isn't letting me be precise on this today. Go to right there. With it highlighted, orange. Now watch. We close it. Notice it works here, but that, we open it. We open it. There we go. We have to scroll way down there because look where it went. All right. I need this all the way up at 850 instead. All right. So we close that. Let's go back to here. We go over here. That's where it's at. By adding this, we just added a whole big space in there and made it so the page was larger. All right, we're going to go back, and now we're going to, let's see, what do we want to do? Open this. Come over here and look at some of the stuff we have. New site, open recent, close page, save site as, place photo button, add files, site properties, add remove web fonts, preview the page or the site. And this is where it'll get confusing later, but we'll go over that one, okay? Upload to FTP, publish to Business Catalyst, export as HTML. We're going to be using the Business Catalyst for this, okay? That way you don't have to worry about another site. Now, if you have a server, your own server from the school, you can do that if you have your own server. Behance won't just accept this, okay? Edit, we have all our normal edits, the page, objects, the view mode, plan mode, that's back to here. Design mode, notice. Preview mode. This is what it looks like when we go to the web page. See that big space there? So that's something to think about, how this is going to work with the preview. So what we're going to do is go back to here, and we're going to take that to 750. Take this to there. Close it. And see, we still have that big space at the bottom. This is one of those errors that they have now. For some reason, they have this technical issue. Okay? So when we're working on this, if you have a hard time with that, just let me know. All right, because look, it goes down to 1,200, 1,100 high. All right, so we're going to close this, close it again. Well, first we're going to save it. Now we're going to go to week 1. LFP, Locates Fire Performance. All right, now we're going to close that and open a new one. All right, so maximum page width, 1,200. As you know, but columns, we went to 12. Now we go down here. Minimum height is 500. Minimum width is 320. So let's turn off the sticky footer. All right, so here's where we're at. Now, what height did I make that? Well, let's take a look. 500, that's the minimum, okay? So we're going to take that down to 900. And I'm going to move the bottom one to there. The top one, now we can move this to there. All right, so now what we're going to do, Command 0, is we're going to do the same thing. Right, and now we're going to take the libraries and fill it with black. All right, so that's part set up. Now let's take a look. Go back. Notice the difference. So you turn that one box off, and that's what happens, okay? All right, next. Well, now we're going to bring that in again. Now we're going to go Command 0. Come on. Command 0. There we go. And we're going to bring the logo in, File, Place. All right, we're going to put it right here. Next, I need some buttons. Well, let's look at my widgets library. We're not going to use those. Our state button, we already went and discussed. So we're going to make our own, okay? Notice we only have certain tools. We're very limited in this program on the tools. They didn't get too far with that. Okay, so that's something to think about as we're going. Now, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go to Photoshop, and we're going to open that site again, the one we just did. All right, so now I'm going to click on that. Well, we're going to lock everything. Okay. Control C. All right, so now we've copied it. And then, so what's the next step? Well, now I'm going to go over and place it. Command V. Oh, it just brought the same one that I had before. So in other words, you can't copy and paste. You have to actually place rather than copy and paste, okay? So now, whoops. Now what I'm going to do, we're going to go back over here, and we're going to save this. File save. Come back over here, file, place. Well, now I'm going to go to week 1, grab that. And look, I could import just a certain where. So I want the home, hold my shift, clip to layer contents. Okay. Boom. Now look, that brought those in. Now I double click and I can break those apart, kind of. Okay. They're there, but notice it's outside the window. Or there brings it back. So to do this, you can't really break those down anymore. So what do I want to do? I'll just separate them that way. Oh, again, see the issue? So if you're going to do this, you need to do it one at a time, all right? So we have this. So you want to scroll up. There's that. And notice I've just rearranged a lot of my stuff for my page. All right, so we closed that, but look. It still looks good. Except down here is a little over. Okay, so you're starting to see how this flows together. But now, the issue that I'm going to have, let's go back into there. Now I click on that button, right? So I have just that layer. Let's look at the states. I don't have the option to change them. All right, and that's the one thing about bringing in Photoshop. Is if you're going to do it, be ready for all the things to go weird, okay? To work or not work. If you're going to bring it in, you have to bring them in separately, create the entities by themselves, and save them. If you're going to want to adjust them in here. All right, so Muse is limited, as you're starting to see. Okay, so that's going to be where we end this part. And what I want to talk about, we'll get into more of that later tonight, okay? And we'll finish this up so you know how to save it. All right, so what are some of the good things and bad things with portfolio layout? Or a web page layout for that. Well, let's take a look at the different layouts of web pages. Web page layout. All right, images. All right, so you're starting to see right here, this is the one I just used, right? Except I did not put the 2 in, but the footer's there. But that's an issue with the footer still. But that's fixable, right? Well, let's take the footer. Notice it can't be shrunk because this is outside of it. I'm going to take it back to 850. And take that up to it. I can't go any further. Now I close that, and I'm right back to, oh, look, it's not there now. But it shows up there. So be aware of that. Make sure you preview it first, okay? Let's go page. Let's see. Preview. And there's our site. So that's looking pretty good. But notice how far in that is. So that's just there. It will go to the edge, okay? All right, so now we have that. So let's go back to some of these various layouts. And these are the things I want you to look at while you're deciding how to lay out your page, okay, your Independence University page. One of the main types of things, some common page layouts. All right, you notice some of these go down below the bottom of the page. That's because this area and this area, they leave blank with more info here. Now, with us putting a footer on it, that could throw that off. All right, we have 3 sections, 2 sections, 4, 5, 4, 3, 3, 3, and 8. Traditional models. Header up here, navigation below it, or a sidebar navigation, the main body and the footer. Main body, main body, main body. Now see, if this was the 12, each one of these is 4 wide. For the 12 grid, 4 wide, right? Let's see. Now, this is where they're talking about websites, how they look sideways, or portrait or landscape. Portraits when we start hitting smartphones and tablets. Landscapes, desktop, right? So these are things to keep in mind. This one. Header, sidebar left, sidebar right, content, and footer. Excuse me. I almost sneezed there, sorry. Some other common layouts. Logo, the header, the main menu, content, and footer. Logo, header, main menu, content, footer. And you'll see how each one of these can actually flow and be placed together. All right, these are all HTML. When you save Muse, you save it as a Muse file. When you publish it, go up here, export as HTML, site URL, no. So we're going to change this, put it to week 1, there we go, export, and okay. Now they've changed it. Now they want us to put the site URL in there. Okay. So we're going to put the URL as lfp.com, Loki'sFirePerformance.com. Now we say the OK. See, it took it. And it published it. Let's go back and look at the folder. Just like we did in Animate, a lot of stuff comes back to the folders. Where did it put it? Oh, yeah. Mod 8, whoops, Design 305. And here's all the stuff. Here's our images. So any image we place in there will be put into this folder. So now you're starting to get the idea here. Okay, here's our PSD, the site mapping. Muse, notice it's all XML, okay? Except this, even the sitemap. Okay? So that's something to remember. When it says post, that's what happened, publish it. CSS, well, there's our index. All right. So we're closer there. We go down and see it ends at the bottom of the page there. So we'll close that. And we're going to go back. All right, so now what I'm going to do is we're going to file. Now watch this, open site. I'm going to open that one, the previous site. Come on, do what I want. Got stuck for a minute. If we hide the header, notice nothing's hidden because we didn't make a header. There we go. Now it's moving again. All right, now place Photoshop button. What that does is if you create a button, it will actually bring it in, all right, as a PSD. So we open it. Oh, look, composite. There's the rollover. We will get into that more later on how to create that button, okay? And you're going to have fun with that one because we're going to actually create any shape of button we want, all right? So that's going to be later tonight when we come back. All right, so File, Preview Page in Browser, and we're looking good. It's off to a start. Now, when we're doing your website, it's your portfolio. I'm not going to tell you guys how to set it up. I want you guys to research, look at what you think looks better, and come up with that, all right? All right, so now we've got that. That's how simple that is. All right, now let's go over here and look at this. Web portfolio. Hey, look. These are examples of what some other students have done, okay? So I want you guys to be thinking, do your research, come up with your own ideas, and present them. Let's see what we have. that is what the part 1 is about, presenting your idea. There we go. All right, now to add a second page. I just click here, and this is going to be the portfolio, right? So we now have our portfolio page. All right, now we come over to the assets. So we want to view our assets, our warnings. And it just went away, the library I wanted. So reset the panels. Notice I reset them, they're gone. That's easier way to publish. Design look. Oh, we go into design, it brings them all back up. Have our states, our widget library. Now that's the one we're going to be playing with later. Menus. All right, notice we have our buttons and our menus. Well, I'm going to put a horizontal one, right? Home and portfolio. Now watch what happens when I close that. Actually, we're going to open that back up, delete it. We're going to put that on this. All right, so horizontal, vertical. So we put that down. All right, now I close the master. It's on each one. So watch this. Next. And this is how easy it is once you put a button in to fix a button. I'll watch as soon as I enter. Contact page. Portfolio page. Home page. It adds the buttons for you. All right. So now watch as we click our states. If we click on an individual button, notice I can't hear. Why? Well, we got to get out of the home page and go to the masters page. We have our normal button. So we're going to do our normal as orange. Go back. Roll over, red. I just changed that. Now, we're going to go to states, mouse down. All right, the mouse down. Oh, we're going to make that black. All right, now notice they all went to black. Let's see what happens. See, there we go. It says it didn't exist. Well, what you have to do, go back to here, preview site in browser. Now it builds all the pages. See, portfolio, contact, home. All right, that's how easy it is to build your buttons. And it'll do the same thing. We're going to put the vertical one here. All right, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to make it, well, that's the normal rollover, red, mouse down, black. All right. All right, so now we're going to do this again. Preview site in browser. Home, portfolio, and contact. That's how easy it is to make your things here. Now we could adjust these. All right, so we go into it. We got to go into the master. Now click on them and we go over to here and we have all these adjustments we can make, okay? Show the left icon. So that's just an icon there. Label. Right icon. So that way it has two. So we have that. Now, if I click on this whole thing, I have another set of them, okay? Well, I gave me, this one it doesn't. Some of them we do. Like there, we go, there. All right, top level pages, all pages, manual. So that'll, if I have a sub page. Now watch. Here's how you make sub pages. Click down here. This will be, actually, we're going to remove that. So we click the X. I want it under the portfolio. We have our logos. Web pages. All right, so now we click into here. Now watch. Portfolio. Nothing happens here, right? Up here. Preview site in browser. Portfolio. Notice nothing's happened. Well, we will fix that later tonight in the second class, all right? So now we're going to go File, Save Site. Okay. So that finishes this for now. All right. Well, we've gone over the starting, how to set it up, some of the tools, where to find the buttons, and then we'll go into some more tonight, like I said. So I look forward to seeing people in class tonight. Thank you for watching this one, and have a good day. Again, see you tonight. Thank you.